Good morning, you are watching NEWSi 24/7. Today's headlines are: President urges national players to focus on their performance. President Dr. Arif Alvi Sunday while expressing his confidence in the capabilities of national sports teams, stressed upon players to focus on their performance in the field, so as to bring further laurels to the country. Addressing a closing ceremony of DTA 14th Chief of Naval Staff Commons Amateur Golf Cup here at the Margala Greens Golf Club, the President observed that sports always contributed to healthy activities, develop urge for competing and excelling while maintaining maximum performance. The President also hoped that sports like golf would be promoted in the country, adding sports helped in learning different things about life. The ceremony was attended by Chief of Naval Staff Admiral Muhammad Amjad Khan NEWSi, and a large number of civil and military dignitaries and participating golfers. Referring to the national cricket team, the President said the national players had experienced an era of bias in the past. The current Pakistan cricket squad had visited the United Kingdom during COVID-19 pandemic, he said while citing the cancellation of foreign teams' visit of Pakistan. He said the Prime Minister had rightly urged the national team to focus on performing in the field, which was vital. The President further observed that Pakistani nation was blessed with capabilities and talents. The national teams, he said, by keeping up their performance, dignity and self-ego, would bring more success to the country. The President also narrated a historical incident of the cricket world, when West Indian star Vivian Richards humbled England legendary bowler Bob Willis with his superb batting. The President appreciated the Margala Golf Club for maintaining a lush green environment by constantly planting trees. He also shared his memories of Karachi Golf Club. PM exposed India's fascist face in Angkor address. The WAD Minister for Information and Broadcasting Koudri Fawad Hassan on Saturday said that Prime Minister Imran Khan, in his virtual address to United Nations General Assembly last night, exposed India's fascist face before the world. Appreciating the Prime Minister's speech, the minister said that Imran Khan convinced the world how fascist government of India based on hardline RSS ideology that was committing genocide of minorities in India. The minister said that there were 4 main topics of the Prime Minister's address overall. He said that the PM had a reasoned and comprehensive discussion on Kashmir dispute, Afghan situation, looted wealth from poor countries and environment. He said that Imran Khan, in his speech, covered the challenges facing not only Pakistan, the region but also the world in the best manner. The minister said that the Prime Minister told the world that if Afghanistan was left alone, it would be dangerous not only for the region but for the entire world. In his address, the Prime Minister also stressed on discouraging the transfer of wealth looted from poor countries to rich countries, Fawad Hassan said. He further said that the PM remarked that transfer of looted wealth from poor nations to rich countries was creating hatred against rich countries. The minister said that the Prime Minister also apprised of the steps taken by his government in the context of global responsibilities for the threats posed to the planet by climate change. In his address, the Prime Minister highlighted the steps taken by the government of Pakistan to replant forests in Pakistan through the 10 billion tree tsunami, protect the national environment, and eliminate pollution from cities. The Prime Minister presented his position on all 4 issues with very convincing and lively arguments. PM Imran exposes Modi's RSS ideology at Angkor in courageous way. Farooq Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting Farooq Habib on Saturday said Prime Minister Imran Khan exposed callous RSS Rashtriya Swayamsevak ideology of Narendra Modi at the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly, Angkor. His strong arguments in support of Kashmirs at the UN showed that the Prime Minister was their true advocate and fearless ambassador. Farooq Habib said in a series of tweets. At the Angkor, he said, PM Imran demanded burial of iconic Kashmiri leader Said Ali Shagli Loniat, Cemetery of Martyrs left square, bracket in Srinagar right square bracket under Islamic rituals. Farooq said the Prime Minister elucidated the world in the best possible way that it was Pakistan which incurred highest loss of life and economy due to the war in Afghanistan. Now, the world should not repeat mistake of past, but make efforts for lasting peace in Afghanistan, he added. The minister said PM Imran did not only present the facts before the world in a rational and confident manner, but also hold a mirror up to the face of many left square bracket at the Angor right square bracket. Alhamdulillah, thanks to the Almighty. Now there is a Prime Minister in Pakistan who puts the national interest and future of the next generations first, he remarked. Afghanistan's ambassador from ousted government should vacate UN seat. FM Qureshi, Pakistan's foreign minister, Shah Mahmood Qureshi, said in an interview with the New York Times published Sunday that the Afghanistan's ambassador in the United Nations from Afghanistan's toppled regime had no standing, and that the war-torn country's seat at the UN should remain vacant for now. Ghulam Issaaqzai, who so far remains the officially recognized envoy of Afghanistan at the UN, is listed to speak in the General Assembly on Monday, when the 193-member body concludes its high-level debate. Issaaqzai was appointed by former Afghan President Ashraf Ghani a couple of months before the Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan. Meanwhile, the Taliban have requested that Sohail Shaheen, the Taliban spokesman in Doha, replace Issaaqzai and be permitted to speak at the General Assembly. In the interview, FM Qureshi said it remained to be seen whether the Taliban's request was justified. But he also said Issaaqzai's right to represent Afghanistan at the United Nations was not defensible because his government had collapsed, and its president, Ashraf Ghani, had fled abroad. Who is he speaking for? FM Qureshi asked about Issaaqzai. The best short-term solution for Afghanistan's UN seat, he said, is keep it empty. He also dismissed the idea of even talking to Issaaqzai. What good would it do? He said. To me, is of no use. UN spokesman Stefan Dujarric said in an emailed message that as for now, the Afghanistan representative inscribed on the list for Monday's HE Mr. Ghulam M. Issaaqzai. The question over who should be Afghanistan's rightful representative at the United Nations is to be taken up by the General Assembly's Credentials Committee, a 9-member group that includes China, Russia and the United States. Protesters outside UN building call for Kashmir's freedom from Indian yoke Azad Jammu. And Kashmir President Barrister Sultan Mahmood Qauyudri has said that the Kashmir dispute could only be resolved through the free exercise by the Kashmiri people of their UN-pledged right of self-determination, and not by military means as India was attempting to do. There is no military solution, he told a large number of Kashmirs, Pakistanis and Sikhs who staged a big anti-India demonstration in front of the United Nations building in New York on Saturday, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the UN General Assembly. Holding banners and placards in their hands inscribed with pro-freedom and anti-India slogans, the participants raised vociferous slogans against Modi and expressed complete solidarity with the struggling people of Jammu and Kashmir. The Azad Kashmir president was the chief guest at the rally in which Dr. Ghulam Nabi Faye, Secretary General of the Washington-based World Kashmir Awareness Forum, Sada Salah Khan, a former member of Azad Kashmir Council, were among those who spoke. A prominent Sikh leader, Dr. Amarjit Singh, president of the Kholistan Affairs Center, also spoke in support of the Kashmir cause. President Sultan Qauyudri said he had come to New York to apprise the international community about the continued atrocities and gross human rights violations committed by over 900,000 Indian troops deployed in occupied Jammu. He said the international attention was now focused on Kashmir, and he called for unity among people as they pushed for freedom from the Indian yoke. Dr. Faye said the President of the General Assembly, Abdullah Shawad, must know that Prime Minister Modi, who spoke on Saturday, was declared as Butcher of Gujarat. Within the past 2 years, he said, Modi had made Kashmir hell for its people. Pakistan's visually impaired diplomat's UN speech lauded Sama Salim, a visually impaired Pakistani diplomat, has become the first to speak using Braille in the United Nations General Assembly Hall. On Friday, Ms. Salim, a counselor at the Pakistan mission to the UN, took the floor to respond to an Indian delegate who made critical remarks after Prime Minister Imran Khan's strong advocacy of the Kashmiri people's UN-pledged right of self-determination. I congratulate Sama Salim, my team member, for successfully putting forward Pakistan's position by exercising right of reply, Ambassador Muni Akram wrote on Twitter. Her performance was also lauded by many people on social media. Qureshi wraps up 5-day visit. Satisfied with his talks at UN Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood, Qureshi has wrapped up his 5-day trip to New York at the head of Pakistan's delegation to the 76th session of UN General Assembly, saying he was satisfied with the talks he had with a number of his counterparts and heads of international organizations on global and regional problems, especially Kashmir and Afghanistan. Addressing Pakistani new media representatives on Friday night, he said that he felt there was a better understanding of Pakistan's viewpoint now among the international community. Qureshi said Prime Minister Imran Khan's stirring, wide-ranging address to the 193-member assembly was constructive and statesmanlike, especially his call for a probe to determine the background and the reasons that led to the collapse of Ashraf Ghani's government and the return of Taliban to powers. He also said PM Khan had exposed Indian propaganda about Jammu and Kashmir and brought home to member states the real state of affairs in the disputed territory. He also referred to Pakistan's recently released comprehensive and well-researched dossier containing the entire range of gross, systematic and widespread violations of human rights being perpetrated by Indian security forces in the occupied territory. The foreign minister said he was pleased with the outcome of the meeting's contact group, in which his counterparts from Turkey, Saudi Arabia and Azerbaijan participated and reaffirmed their stand on the Kashmir dispute. Among the dozens of meetings the foreign minister had, here was his first face-to-face interaction with the United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken, with whom he had exchanged views for over an hour. Replying to questions, the foreign minister said the atmosphere at the meeting was good, as the objective was to remove misunderstandings. Thanks for watching NEWSi 24/7. For more news visit our website on www.newsi247.tv or follow us on Twitter, YouTube and Facebook.